What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Welcome home. It is I, your boy Keith, bringer of knowledge, information, and entertainment. One of our followers, call me Jesus. One of our followers asked, she said, "Hey Keith, what's going on with the NoFap, sex energy, Kundalini, but with women?" If you didn't see my last video, go watch it. It's on the channel. If you're not gonna watch it, I understand. I'll try to give you a quick breakdown. Basically, last video said, hey, don't ejaculate because, men, that's your seed and that's your life force, and you're blowing your life force out of you instead of retaining it. Mostly is what I said. And she said, hey Keith, how does it work with women? Well, the answer is, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I've done a lot of research and nothing is necessarily conclusive. One, because it's spirituality and nothing is ever completely conclusive until science verifies it. But in a way, science has verified it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by reading some scientific literature on ejaculation. And then we'll go into the spiritual side. This pertains to men though. For men, masturbation has been proven to reduce the risk of prostate cancer. That right there is more than enough reason to have a wank every now and then, referring to masturbation. Not only that, masturbation has also been proven to greatly reduce mental stress and tension in both sexes. For women, menstrual cramps can be relieved, at least temporarily, thanks to masturbation. So that's one pro of masturbation. The second, aids in insomnia and depression. The immune system is also improved when someone regularly masturbates. Masturbating frequently can also help with the following: high blood pressure, fatigue, improving heart rates, controlling swelling of blood vessels, produce fresh sperm cells, endorphins, and white blood cells. Also shown to boost metabolism. And the third pro for a study conducted at the University of Münster, Germany, showed that masturbation can help greatly reduce the pain of a migraine and in some cases even get rid of it altogether. Most doctors and sex therapists agree that regularly masturbating can actually help your sex life with your partner, not the other way around. So these are some pros for masturbation. Now, I don't like any of these because what it's saying is what it's talking about is the orgasm. It's not distinguishing who's doing the orgasm. Now, there's all kinds of things if you do it yourself and if someone else does it with you. For example, sex cures all of these things that these articles talk about: depression and blood pressure, and mental fatigue and mental stress, and fresh sperm cells, endorphins. All that stuff comes from the orgasm, you guys. It's not coming because you're wanking yourself, which is very misleading. It admits that. It admits the fact that this is the orgasm we're talking about, not masturbation. You don't need masturbation to get these things. You just need the orgasm, which takes me to the spiritual side of it. Now, this is just my own musings. It's just my own philosophy. I've studied something called the Hermetic philosophy, which is an ancient Egyptian, ancient, quote-unquote, Atlantean set of laws that I've written my book on, that you can find in the description, that has this stuff more in detail, but the free version will be chopped up right here. So this is where I'm getting my information from, which are these principles that determine the mechanics of the universe. So when it comes to sex, when it comes to ejaculation and these things, there is a feminine aspect and there is a masculine aspect, two qualities that exist within every single form, from a planet to we can go down to even seasons, we can go down to the human body, we can go down to the brain, we can go down to the cell of the brain, we can go to the atom of the brain, and to the... At every level, you will have female and masculine aspects, right? That's what we're going with. Now, when I said that expelling your seed as a man drains your energy, the reason why I said that is because the seed of the man, the sperm cell, is the force that is creating new life. And in order for something to have the power to create something brand new, in this case, a human, has to contain a vast amount of energy. Now, this is why it said, men, try to retain your ejaculate. It doesn't say avoid the orgasm, because with practice, Kundalini and stuff like that, which I've been able to do multiple times, you can separate the ejaculation from the orgasm. You don't have to expel all the energy when you have the orgasm, and this comes from a practice called, many practices, but if you've heard of tantra, this is what tantra is. And not so many words. I'm not a tantric master by any means, but essentially tantra is saying take the energy that you would normally generate during ejaculation, and instead of expelling that, drive it inward. So you build up in tantra. You want to build up the sex energy. You want to have sex. You want to get aroused. You want to get stimulated, but you don't want to expel it. As a man, you don't want to expel that energy. You want to force it inward, which essentially, with enough of this energy that's being driven inward, stimulates the Kundalini, which is that energy at the base, that serpent energy that we see so often in, again, the Hermetic philosophy, which is what I study, and even Tree of Life and health. Right? You see them in the symbol for health has the snakes going around the staff. Right? That's the goal. But the question was, how does this pertain to women? And this is why I say I'm not sure. The reason why I'm not sure is because you see NoFap communities, you see tantric spirituality sects say that women benefit just like men do. But I don't think that's true, because again, the male aspect of creation, as in man, the man aspect of creation, the masculine form is the sperm cell, right? That's the masculine side for creating a new human life. The female version of that is the egg. So the female version of creating life is the egg. That's where all her energy is stored, in that egg, as far as creation in the physical raw form shows up as the egg. The male physical raw form, masculine, shows up as the sperm. Combine them both, boom, presto, human. Now when a man ejaculates, he shoots out his male counterpart. He shoots out the sperm. But when a woman ejaculates, she's not shooting out eggs. At least I don't think so. I'm almost positive she's not. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, but quote me. Anywho, so that makes me think, is a woman losing energy by ejaculating? So now that opens up a whole nother can of worms, and if I can digress a little bit, give me some freedom. Women can actually ejaculate when they have an orgasm. It's craziest thing I've ever seen. It shoots out. If you haven't experienced it, you should. It's amazing. Anywho, eggs aren't coming out when that happens. It's not. It's there's fluid, of course. That's not eggs. So, to answer your question, I don't know. Women have said, have verified getting positive results from NoFap. But when I look these things up, they're taking out porn. They're so let me talk about that for a second. Give me the permission to talk about that for a second. When you're not masturbating as frequently, you're not being satiated as often, right? So if I'm turned on and I want to release that, you release it, right? But then that drive is gone for mating. So if you're a woman and you're constantly relieving that drive on your own, you're not going to be as driven to find that necessity in a man. So that's where some of it could be coming from, right? It could be getting away from porn, which alters your brain chemistry, which gives you happy drug feelings when you don't necessarily deserve them. You're not working for them. You're getting something for nothing. And it has to compensate somewhere else down the line. And it'll compensate somewhere else in your life. I don't know. It's different for everyone. It's so hot in here. So the conversation that I'm not hearing in Tantra or in NoFap is a male doesn't release the same things as a woman releases when they ejaculate. The man releases the sperm, which is debatably, I think, one of the most powerful bits of information and energy that exist on the physical plane. And of course the woman's version is the egg. And of course, the egg isn't being released during ejaculation, like I said. So I don't think so. And now think of this. Think of when a man ejaculates after sex. He's spent. He's tired. He's in sleep. He gets hungry. He needs food. He needs to replenish all of this. All the billions of sperm cells that he just discarded have to be replaced immediately. For natural reasons, for survival. It's get more sperm up, right? Constantly producing sperm as a man. Well, when you don't ejaculate, your body makes new sperm cells. The older ones die, they get bad, they make new ones, and it kind of recycles, right? All the nutrients stay inside of your body. All the energy stays inside of your body. So you don't have to make up for it. Ejaculate, you have to make up for it. Now, maybe that's why, I don't know for sure, maybe that's why women can go much longer, why they can have multiple orgasms so much easier, because they're not because they're actually gaining things, right? Sexual energy, it adds. So when you get turned on, both men and women, their energy level increases. You get really excited. You get your heart rate increases. You start releasing endorphins and hormones and dopamine and all these things that start cortisol, all this that start to trigger a very physical reaction that has a spiritual correspondence, that has an emotional correspondence, and the physical in your body and your mind and your emotions all start to rise. The frequency starts to grow, and then you release it in the form of an ejaculation. But women don't. Women have the orgasm, but they're not, again, expelling anything from their bodies, which is why I think women can go so much more longer. Now, men can do the same thing with practice. Men can have orgasms but not ejaculate, and this is what happened with me when I had my Kundalini awakening. I had 3 almost violent orgasms where no ejaculation happened. I'm talking orgasms that accumulated to at least 10 minutes between the 3 of them of a solid orgasm that had no release to it. And then the following week after that, I felt like high on life, and colors were more vibrant, and tastes were better, my thoughts were clear, and my conversations were good. I felt connected to people, to the earth, to things. I felt flow state was accessible, exceedingly accessible. And then it kind of toned down a little bit. But this is what I'm saying. Imagine, right, that you have an orgasm last 10 minutes. Now that's 10 minutes of building without a release. And what are the implications of that? What are the implications of increasing your energy and not letting it go? Duh, that's a no-brainer. You just have more energy all around. And that's what's happening with Tantra, with Kundalini. You're accessing this energy without expelling it. That's my philosophy. Like I said, this isn't verified by anything. But what is verified is, again, using one of the laws that I practice, there is the law of correspondence, which is the as above, so below. So what I'm doing is I'm taking what I know, the knowledge of what I know about one thing, and I'm applying it to another realm. So I know how the physical world works because science can verify that. And I go, okay, since that exists in the physical world, it has to exactly the same way in the spiritual world and in the emotional world, only it shows up in its form that it wants to show up as, that it has to show up as. And what I did was I said, okay, in the physical world, sperm cells create human lives. And your body takes a vast amount of energy in the form of nutrients and minerals and vitamins, right? Metals and stuff. So your body uses these things, which is energy, to produce sperm. And when you shoot it out, it has to replace that. It pulls minerals from the rest of your body to make new sperm cells. So I know that's a fact. So I say, okay, because we live in a holographic universe, which is also proven by science, or it's likely, very likely that we live in a holographic universe. Like, you see the lines in my palm, right? They match the veins on a leaf. They match the roots of a tree. They match river deltas, right? We can prove the holographicness of existence, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, I can prove what the sperm is doing and what it needs and what it takes and the tax it emits on the body when it doesn't have them and when it uses them. And so I go, okay, if it taxes it on the body in the physical form, it's going to tax your mental. It's going to tax your emotions. It's going to tax your spirituality. Anything that taxes your spirituality is going to tax your physical world. Anything that taxes your physical world is going to tax your spirituality. And that's why I can say so confidently, without having hard proof, that plain and simple, if you're a man and you ejaculate, you're going to be taxed on every level. And if you don't ejaculate, you're going to retain energy. You're going to keep building and building and building and not releasing. Now that release, that lack of release now turns into something else. Okay, now you have extra energy. Now you have an abundance of sexual energy, which is very creative, right? Because that's what sex does. It creates new human life. So now you have creative energy instead of in a towel. You have it in your body. And the more aroused you can become, the more excited you can become without that release, theoretically, hypothetically speaking, is the more energy you're going to have to do whatever it is, to create YouTube videos, to paint, to draw, to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym, to make love to your woman for 2.5 hours instead of 2.5 minutes, right? These are things that happen. And back to the original question, I'm digressing a lot in this video, but thanks for staying with me. To the original question is, Keith, how does this work for women? Again, I don't know. I would say, well, don't watch porn, period, right? Because it's been proven again scientifically, the alterations to the brain chemistry that happen when you focus on porn. So eliminate that. But when it comes to the orgasm, women, if you are orgasming and you're not expending your egg, I would imagine that you're able to generate more sexual energy than a man would. But I guess my question is to you. I'm not a woman. I don't know. Women, I've heard mixed results with NoFap for women. What are your experiences? Do you experience more creativity? Do you experience more energy when you're not orgasming as often? It's a good question. It's a good question because the literature says both. But that's it for this one, you guys. Thanks. My name is Keith. I'll link my book in the description if you want to dive deeper into topics like these, and check out the rest of my channel and subscribe and like and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. See you next time. What's up, Doug?
Yo.
What's cracking?
Can you do me a favor? Can you confirmation that online? We'll look up stuff to get you